Hi everybody, this is Rita Townsend. Thanks very much for joining me today. I appreciate that. I'm going to remind a few friends that I'm on this afternoon. Hopefully they can join me. And I know I have a lot of friends and business partners who are always on, and I love that. But I also really like it with some of my new people, my new friends who come on and share and comment especially, because social media is really growing, as we know. A lot of us are homebound for various reasons, which is a lot of what I'm going to share with you today. For those of you who might be jumping on late, I also post my Facebook Lives on my YouTube channel, along with a lot of other health-related information, so jump on my YouTube if you're coming on late. And for those of you who are on the replay, I always love your comments because I have a really big group who come on the replay, and I love sharing information with all of you and answering questions and sharing with you about where my information is coming from. So it's Friday again, and it seems like they're just flying by. And it's really a challenging time as this thing goes on. I'm sure your week was filled with excitement and activities and encouragement and all kinds of fun things. Not. But we know it was filled with politics, but that's a discussion for another time. So what I want to share with you today is something that I find absolutely fascinating. It's a real peek into our American lifestyle and into our culture and how we have evolved in this country, which is pretty darn impressive in terms of the world. We're leading the world just about every category. But since the pandemic has put a halt on so many things and caused us to be at home, we've had to really figure out what to do with this time, what to do at home, how to work at home, how to manage kids at home, how to teach kids at home, how to juggle a lot of different things. So this unstructured time that a lot of us have dreamt about on how we could turn that into something really great has really become somewhat of a burden. It's something that we've all thought, if I only had time to do ... And when in reality, 5 months into this, and I bet you, like myself, I haven't even scratched the surface. I started out with a lot of activity, with a flurry of activity, because I thought I could turn this time into some real productive time. I focused a lot on my business and learning some new skills in that area, which is always a challenge. I also, my husband and I, jumped into a lot of small projects early on. And you probably did too. A little cleaning out here and there, a little purging here and there. But for me, as a creature of habit, I found after a very short period of time, this was not so good. I had to really challenge myself as time went on, how to really turn this into something more productive. So when it comes down to the day-to-day for a lot of us, we've really been, instead of being productive and useful, we've really been kind of stymied and stopped, and really the ambitions have really dwindled down to just getting by. And we're now down to how can we fill the time and get by passing the time, except for a couple of people that I happen to know. One of them is my husband, who started out with a lot of activities, and he's still going strong. It moved from the outside now to the inside, where he's absolutely on a demo mission, which involves my bathroom, my bedroom, and my closet, and he hasn't stopped yet. So some good things, but he has to be busy all the time, and that's what he's chosen to do. So I want to ask you, how's your time been filled? Has it really been as productive as you thought it would be. Thanks, Julie. He's in there on a ladder painting in the closet. Or has it been more filled with Zooms, Netflix, maybe a little too much cooking, some things you've been experimenting around with you probably shouldn't have experimented around with? And how about the moms? Really, really being challenged to come up with new ways to entertain the kids, teach the kids, keep them busy, and keep them on track with what they need to be doing, as most of them have returned to school. So I'm going to share with you this afternoon some statistics from the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is a really great reflection of what we're doing with our time. But here's how it starts. For the last 5 months, Americans have found themselves with a wealth of unstructured time. Something that we've really pined for is here. But the problem with it is, in our culture, we do not know how to face leisure time. We might get up in the morning with big plans, but it doesn't take long for us as the day goes by to really move away from that ambition and that productivity and try to find some busy work. And that's very hard for us because culturally we've changed, and it's really only been in about the last 5 years. Some of the philosophers of old have measured a culture by how it uses its leisure time, and here's why. It has been used for higher pursuits. Have your pursuits been higher? Things like reading and writing and philosophy and music. For previous generations, a reprieve from the hard work of the day. We simply don't live in that kind of culture. And many of the great thinkers have simply said, if you're losing your leisure, you're losing your life. In our leisure, we reveal what kind of people we are. So here are some of the statistics according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. What kind of people are we as Americans? Here is what they say. Americans spend an average of 2 hours and 47 minutes on TV, 25 minutes playing video games, and 17 minutes relaxing or thinking. Kind of sad, isn't it? The overexertion in the work world became the new norm, and personal esteem through work was the value of one, not virtue, not honor, not family, not faith, and not even reputation. So our leisure time became a ceaseless, meaningless string of objects to just simply quell the deafening noise of what we considered nothing. And what lay behind it was absolutely nothing. So that's how we value our leisure time. And here's about our American productivity. Now, we all know we lead the world, and we're different culturally, but here's what has changed. The American worker has increased productivity by 400%, while 134 countries around the world have made more laws setting maximum length of the work week. And I travel a good bit, and I have practically family members in other countries, and I know it's very common to take frequent vacations. Even their school system is structured around long breaks of really, in France, about 2 weeks, and then even longer in the summer, and then everything shuts down for a whole entire month. So it's a completely different view culturally about what it means to be working and to be productive. So a series of to-dos where each minute becomes a challenge in efficiency and goal achieving. So the contributors to this also commented about millennials and Gen Z folks who we know we have in our family. this problem comes up a lot because they're questioning this. They would almost rather jump from job to job, travel in between, take a menial job in order to do the fun things in their lives. And the idea of being productive and a long, rewarding career or retirement is just not even in their paradigm. So we really have a distorted relationship with leisure. And we have more of a view of what can be measured or quantified or weighed versus the quality of time spent on these leisure activities. So our mark of success is exhaustion, surplus energy to end the day, books, hobbies, social activities, things like that. Even experimenting with new recipes are really a part of what we consider kind of the leisure thing to do and not as important. And sadly, it's a big loss because we need the refilling, we need the replenishment. So here's the bottom line in this article. What we need, especially now, is a reassessment, asking ourselves these questions. Do I need to escape from my life? What are some small things that I can change? Do I desire to escape? What are the large things in my life that are simply intolerable to me? So in the past 4 months, people have been baking, painting, knitting, painting as in painting walls, all kinds of activities, even maybe even some new skills that they're learning. I know a few people like that. But the bottom line is, for most people, now in the last few weeks, according to the contributors in this article, people have become very anxious and very unhappy because what we value in our culture is the work ethic and hard work, and that has been gone and taken away from us. The leisure time and the leisure activity and the opportunity for leisure activity is not something that we value, and we have not embraced that. So staying at home, which is now governed by the economic expectations and our government, could literally become self-care and introspection if we choose. Are you choosing that? The situation for many people has caused grief, economic strain, loneliness, and fear. But for those who are driven by capitalism, it literally took a quarantine for us to reconcile ourselves with leisure. This author considers the ability to be at leisure one of the basic powers of the human soul, to step beyond the working world and to bring us life forces, to send us out renewed and alive again into the busy world of work. And I totally agree with that. I know we're all facing new challenges and new changes in the work world as we begin to do that. But it was very, very interesting to me to really think about culturally what we as a society have valued and what has been forced upon us as change, and we still can't value it. It's really an interesting paradigm to me. So, love it when you join me live. Lots of people jump on the replay. Share this. Maybe it's some information that you find interesting, and I love it when you share things. My personal goal is to kind of look back on this time and feel like I've done something constructive. I think my husband can, and I have a couple of other friends who've been big projects, and they can certainly look out and say, I did that. So I hope that we all can at least embrace some leisure time and look back and say, yes, I did use this wisely, even if it was just simply for leisure time. So I'll be posting on my YouTube again on Monday night. I will be doing a Zoom with one of my partners who is a practicing physician, and we're going to be sharing a great little 30-minute Zoom webinar. Some really great information. Love for you to tune in on that. I'm always posting that on my personal page. There'll be a link on there for that. Questions, comments, I love all those. Thanks for joining me live, and I love it when you guys comment, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week. It's Labor Day, and we don't labor on Labor Day, right? So celebrate it. Bye, everybody.